All right, well, you said it. It's Monday, so that means it's time for the weekend box office report brought to you by our friends at AMC Theaters. Disney wins the box office again. Captain America Civil War is now the 5th biggest domestic opening of all time, taking in $181.7 million in its debut for an easy #1 spot at the box office. At number 2 is The Jungle Book with $21.8 million, down 47% since holding the #1 spot the past 3 weekends in a row. At number 3 is Mother's Day with $9 million. Rounding out the top 5, The Huntsman Winter's War took in $3.5 million for the number 4 spot, and Keanu took in $3 million for the number 5 spot. Mark, what do you think about Captain America's record-breaking opening?
Well, before we get to Cap, it's just a bummer that $9 million went into disappointing moms on Mother's Day this weekend. When we talk about Captain America Civil War, so you had the first Avengers do business, then you had Avengers Age of Ultron do a little bit less business, and then in that third spot is going to be Captain America Civil War. It's a little less than I thought it might pull in. I can't say it's a disappointing number, though. I mean, so Philly, you heard Natasha say the 5th highest domestic opening ever. The only reason why I thought it might go a little higher than that is because they threw Spider-Man in that last trailer. And that maybe people who were like, okay, we get the Avengers. Oh my God, Spider-Man is in there. So it's a great opening. It's nothing to whine about. I thought it might break 200 million and it didn't. Dennis, you see these numbers. Did you think it was going to do better than what it ended up doing?
Yeah, I did. I actually had it over 200 million. So obviously it's not disappointing. It's just like the Batman v Superman. They made, I think, 166 opening weekend. It wasn't disappointing, but they were expecting more. And I think Marvel was expecting more. I think 180 was maybe more of a conservative amount. I think the question now is people are saying, look, you know, we had all those ridiculous things about, oh, is Marvel paying critics to bash Batman v Superman? Well, this shows maybe that maybe they should have been paying the critics to love Batman v Superman. Did this have any effect? Did people have either one, superhero fatigue, or two, the disappointment, or at least for some people, disappointment Batman v Superman kind of rubbed off on and say, you know, maybe I'll wait on Captain America Civil War.
It smells a little bit like superhero fatigue, if it's anything, to me, because as much as we in our industry, we love to talk about, oh, okay, DC does this and Marvel does this and it's different, to normal fans, you just saw a movie come out with 2 superheroes you love fighting each other. Now there's another movie coming out with superheroes you love fighting each other. So maybe there was a little bit of that, but I think positive word of mouth is what bumped this thing up to over $180 million. Schnepp, what was your take?
Yeah, I thought it would. I thought it would make 200 million, but 181 million is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. And I think it's also going against certain things like Mother's Day, you know, and family films that weekend. Like, so yeah, Jungle Book took a little bite out of it, and Mother's Day, which, as everything I've heard, should win an Oscar, but for some reason made quite a lot of money. A film called Mother's Day that happened to comes out on Mother's Day weekend. You can go figure, like, hey, what are we going to do this weekend? Well, let's go see that family film called Mother's Day, as opposed to 2 superheroes fighting each other. So I think the drop off next weekend will be very slight, as opposed to like what happened with Batman v Superman, where you had like a 70% drop off and then another like 70%. It was a very steep drop off from week 1 to 2 to 3. I think with Civil War, you'll see, you know, probably another 120 million for next weekend.
I mean, that's a big thing when you talk about whether critics love it and whether audiences love it opening weekend. It seems like it's a universally positive response to this movie. So you would think that going into May 13th, which doesn't have Angry Birds is not this weekend. Is that right? Angry Birds,
May 20th.
I think, is May 20th. So this weekend you have Money Monster, which looks really good, and it's got Clooney and Julia Roberts in it. Hopefully it's better than, you know, what you did in Mother's Day. But I don't see this movie having a huge drop-off, a la The Jungle Book, which has been less than a 50% drop-off every week it's been out, which is still very impressive. That movie pulling in $20 million the weekend that Civil War is opening, that's pretty awesome, too.
Yeah, I think Civil War will have longer legs than Batman v Superman because it was received both by the critics and by the fans much more positively. And then internationally, it's already made, I think, over $700 million. So yeah, I think breaking that 1 billion mark, I think, is going to be no problem.
Like next week, it's going to break the billion mark. Plus, it's a film that works in multiple viewings. You get more out of it every time you see it.
You guys, how many times did you guys see it? I saw it again this weekend. Took the Nonfiction Girlfriend yesterday morning. We saw it, and we saw it in IMAX, and it's just tremendous. It was so much fun.
I've seen it twice. We saw it like me, John, Wendy, Adam went over to the AMC Prime and saw it there, and it was a lot of fun.
You guys always throw that
saw
AMC
it twice.
Prime.
Have you not gone yet?
No, I was
Jesus.
gonna go. I was gonna go to Prime. I need
you had a card for how many years to get free movies at AMC?
I had
one full year.
1 year.
365
You work
days.
here. It's like right down over there.
You know, I saw Civil War
free.
2 weeks later than you guys, and you still can't stop rubbing in my face that I didn't experience Civil War the same way.
But we didn't
guys
see it
got
in
to
Prime when we saw it like over a month ago.
Yes.
So I've seen it twice, guys. I'm going to see it a third time. It's that much fun.
It really is a good movie. I'm sure we'll be doing a commentary on it when it comes out in 4 months on Blu-ray.